Today I am installing over $10,000 worth of suspension into my Datsun 240Z. Behind me is a Datsun 240Z from 1973, and I'm trying to turn it into the craziest, most wild Z that you've ever seen. And part of that is this new Apex engineered suspension kit right behind me. I got the both Track Attack front and rear kits that they offer, which is going to be a very cool kit. So let me go ahead and show you guys around what we're doing today. So here are all the pieces that come in the Track Attack front and rear kit. This is part of the rear kit. There's some from the rear kit over here, and then there's some of the front kit over here. Today what we are doing is we are going to be installing the front kit first, and then eventually we'll get to the rear. In the last video we did the floor pans and frame rails, and if you guys saw that video, we used Apex Engineered's frame rails on this car as well. They've been a huge help with this project, and in fact they helped me out by getting me a lot of these parts, and so I'm really excited to be putting them in the car today. We went with the gloss black powder coat finish. It's not a finish on their website, it's something that I requested, but I think it's going to go really cool with the final color scheme of the car. I'm not telling you guys today, I'm gonna keep it a secret for now, but just trust me, it's gonna be awesome. If you guys are interested in seeing this kit, I'm gonna link it down below so you guys can check it out on their website. With that said, let's go ahead and get this kit into the car. Literally gonna have this in like 10 minutes. Easy. Okay, anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. He's over here fighting for his life to get these bolts out.
Dude. Grayson has me doing all the crap work.
That's a lie. Yeah. He wanted to do it.
We're gonna follow the process the same way. We're gonna do pat washer.
Go like something like that, maybe. There's somewhere else too. That's the issue. This is why we didn't paint the car. Okay, so we have encountered a couple of slight issues. The main one is we have gotten this brace in fully mounted. The other brace on the other side we are starting to put in, and it has a huge gap. Like, it doesn't look big, but I can fit my finger in there. Like that is a really big gap right there. And so we're trying to figure out exactly like the best course of action. Oh yeah, there, that you can see it right there. Best course of action on how to best mount this down, because it's a really big gap. There could be a couple reasons for that. One, the kit is misaligned. Two, my body is warped. It is worse if my body is warped, because that means not only will we have an issue with this, we will have more issues with more stuff. I know I have a little bit of warpage in my body, but I think it's in the acceptable range. So I'm gonna double check the kit, make sure it's not the kit misaligned, and hope that that's it. We decided that we are gonna just take a break from this, but we're gonna go ahead and try to put in the rear suspension and see if we can get that mounted up. If we have any issues back there, then it probably indicates chassis warpage. If not, then maybe there's just something going on up here that can be fixed. So we're gonna start in the rear, see how that goes, and just kind of pick this up later. Okay, so the rear subframe didn't fit because it hit the inside of the rear tire carrier. I'm not using the tire carrier at all, so I'm just gonna get rid of it so we can get the rear subframe to fit, and then eventually I'll put a fuel cell here. So we're gonna go ahead and just cut this thing out. Okay, so here's the spare tire carrier. Now, technically we didn't need to cut it all the way out just to install the suspension, but I did because I'm gonna be running a fuel cell instead of this. One of the things that I've learned while working on this car is that I was always scared to cut a car. I always thought like, if you cut the car, you can't undo it. And I've kind of learned that like, that's not necessarily the case. The main thing is, you don't want to be scared to cut your car, and the only way that you're not scared is to make sure that you know what you're cutting. Measure twice, cut once, and this is one of those examples. Just make sure you're not hitting anything, make sure you need to cut what you need to cut, and make sure you're okay with it being out of the car. Worst case scenario, if I really wanted to, I could weld this one back in or even get a new tire carrier and weld it in. It's not that hard from what I've learned. And I think that's a good rule of thumb that anything can be fixed. It's just a matter of how much time and effort you want to put in to fix it. So now we have enough room to go put the rear subframe in, so let's go do it. Okay, so after some minor struggling, Logan and I got the diff in. This is actually a 370Z/350Z rear differential. So this is a completely modernized diff. We're not using an original Datsun diff, and that's what the Apex engineered rear subframe calls for. So now that we have this in, we're gonna go ahead and try to like bench press this into the car. Hopefully everything fits now that we cut the rear tire carrier out, and we should be good to go. Okay, so as Logan and I were fitting up this diff, we found out a couple of things. One, this is kind of a three-man job. 2 people to lift the diff, and then 1 person to screw everything in. I guess you could kind of do it with a jack, but it would be just a lot easier if you had multiple people. Luckily, my buddy Kenny came in to say hi right as we were doing this, so that made it a lot easier. The other thing that we found out is the Datsun 240Z doesn't really fit very well with this subframe, which is kind of odd because it's designed for the Datsun 240Z, but I think that some Zs are made different from others. Now, underneath the car, there are these stud points where the actual bushings mount in the rear of the subframe, and then there are 2 points in the front where the front bushings mount. Those actually lined up pretty well. It did take a little bit of findangling on either side to actually get it fully seated. However, the issue was where the diff actually hits. The diff hits this cross beam of the frame right here, which means we actually have to trim that, which is not my favorite thing. The other thing, it also hits what I think is an exhaust hanger, so I'm not as concerned about that, but it definitely doesn't thrill me that I have to trim this much of the car to make this fit. But like I said earlier, cutting a car isn't as scary as it sounds. When it does come to frame stuff, it is a little bit scarier, but everything is pretty much reversible as long as you do it correctly. Now, one of the reasons why this subframe doesn't fit is the diff itself is actually in line with these bushings here. So the top of the diff actually lines up perfectly with these bushings, which would be perfectly fine. However, as you can see on this rear frame piece, it actually curves down from where the bushing sits to where the diff hits. So I'm gonna have to notch it myself. Again, not super thrilled about that, but at least I know that I can do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and notch that point, grind down the other exhaust hanger where it is hitting as well. If I did it over again, I'd probably shell out a little bit more money and get a 370Z diff, but this diff was $50. I'd rather cut my frame, save 500 bucks, and get a $50 diff. It has been 3 hours or more, potentially, and a lot of pain and suffering. Quite literally, I have hurt myself more times than I can count. But we did finally get the rear subframe and diff all the way into the car. As you can see, this is where the spare tire was, and if you look straight down here, the spare tire carrier went here and would hit where this bar sits. In fact, you can actually see some of the scuff marks from where we hit the powder coat onto the spare tire carrier when we tried to put it in the first time. This kit really isn't a stock suspension kit, obviously. It is a track suspension kit. So they're assuming you're probably getting rid of the spare tire carrier anyway, and so it's not that big of a deal that it's gone, which again, for me, since we are doing somewhat more of a sporty track build, I was getting rid of the spare tire carrier, so it's not that big of a deal. The other thing that we had to trim was I had to trim the frame area. So underneath the car here, there is this frame piece that goes across, and I had to notch that so that the diff could fit perfectly. Now, I don't necessarily think that that is Apex Engineered's fault. I think that's more my fault because I bought a 350Z diff rather than a 370. I'm betting that the 370 would have fit just fine, but not that big a deal. I'm fine with notching to fit a larger diff. And then this allows me to run both a 370Z diff, a 400Z diff, or a 350Z diff. Pretty much whatever diff I want to run, it will now fit in this area here. It was definitely a lot more work than we thought it was going to be, but eventually, after a while, we finally did figure it out. But we're gonna put the camera down for now and come back another day, or at least I will. That was the main thing I needed Logan for, so he can go home and do whatever else, and I'll come back in and put in the rest of the kit. Theoretically, it should be easy now. He's laughing because he knows. I've said that a few too many times, and this car ain't easy. If you want to build a Datsun, I have some advice for you. Just don't. And just like that, we have built they kind of look like my arms. These are bigger than my actual arms though. The rear suspension is now built and put together. Everything is still kind of loose because I don't know exactly what I should tighten down, what I shouldn't. But overall, the rear suspension and rear crossmember are put together. So now I just gotta put it in the car and secure it somehow. And there we go. Mild problem, doesn't entirely fit. If you notice, right there, that is a full couple millimeters off, and it's lined up at the top. So that just means it does not fit at all. I mean, it fits up top, but like the cross bracing down at the bottom doesn't fit. And I actually looked at it and it looks like that beam, the other side fits fine. It looks like that beam is like welded proud. So I either need to cut and re-weld that bar or cut the car and re-weld that. I'm not super happy about that. I'll worry about that later. For now though, that does look pretty dang cool. It does take up quite a bit of the rear view mirror area. That's okay. I don't need to see what's behind me. Hell yeah, bitches. That's how you fucking do it. Holy fuck. So it's been a while since I last updated the camera, but the last thing that I was working on was the rear suspension. We finished up back there, but if you remember earlier in the video, we ran into some issues with this brace not fitting. Now, I reached out to Apex Engineered and they said that they would send me a brand new one that would fit or should fit perfectly, and that's what they did. And lucky for me, it does. So that's one issue out of the way. Apex Engineering took care of it. Super huge shout out to them. These guys are awesome. Their customer service is great. If you have a problem with a piece, you reach out to them and they just help you fix it. Along with that, I never actually got my front spindles, so they also included that in that order as well. I ordered a lot from them, so I don't blame them for leaving a couple things out, but luckily we got it rectified and I have these front spindles now. Basically, I've just got to assemble these and hopefully it should just go right in. To the wheel bearing here. It's been a few days since I've worked on the car, but I did just get this brand new steering rack from Apex Engineered, and so I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in. This is literally 4 bolts. Should take me like no time at all. You've got these beautiful billet lower rack mount clamps, along with some matching top rack mount clamps. Really, all this does is literally just clamp together. So the steering rack's pretty much in. I do have a little bit of a concern at this angle of this this spline piece here. I think it's just because this motor mount is loose. It should be able to clear it just fine, but definitely concerns me at how close that actually is and the angle that it's at. But overall, that looks substantially better, and that will perform a lot better than the old one. Okay, so we have pretty much all of the suspension in the car. It's been kind of a crazy few weeks. I've been working on the engine, the suspension, the brakes, the interior, and pretty much everything all at once because I really want to get this car done as soon as possible. So, been a little chaotic. Sorry if the video reflects that a little bit, but we've got the full suspension in. Now, since I have also been working on other pieces of the car, I am also working on the engine video right now, which is going to be the next video that goes up, and hopefully that will be the transmission install, the engine install, and the engine harness, some of the wiring harness, and the first start. Basically everything that we need to do a first start on this car. As you can see, a little sneak peek right there, it's gonna be pretty cool. This car is going to be insane, and I cannot wait for you guys to see that. Definitely subscribe if you're not already for that next video. Like literally, if it's just to watch that next video, I think it's gonna be crazy. This car should sound insane, or it's gonna blow up. I'm not really sure which yet. It's gonna be one of the two, but either way, it should be entertaining. So thank you guys for watching and supporting this build, whether it's been on the shorts or on the main videos. These main videos are such a huge help to actually supporting this build and making it come to fruition, making it an actual car. So thank you guys for watching, thank you for subscribing, and thank you for liking and commenting, because you guys are making this build happen, and I'm so grateful for that. So hopefully all the rest of the parts come in time for Sema this year or next year. I don't know. I know we're cutting it kind of close, but we will find out. Again, that is the end goal with this car. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. It's gonna be awesome. Bye. I don't want to spoil it yet, but it's really cool. Like, it's awesome, but I don't want to give it away because it looks so cool. I mean, I kind of already given it away, but like, dude, it's so good.